Today we're going to look at decimals. And the key words we're going to need are tenth, hundredth, and integer. And we'll come to those words in a minute. But I just want to make one thing really clear. Today you're going to see numbers written like this, 0.4. And in English we say 0.4, and that's a decimal. But if you're in Spain and you'd see the same thing, you would see it written like this. So what I want you to understand is that when you see this, it could mean this. But because in English we say 0.4, I don't want to write it like this. So these two things can mean the same thing. It's important that you understand that. So let's go to look at it in English. So what are decimals, which is what I want you to understand today? Well, here are some examples of some decimals that I've written. But what does that mean? Okay, well, normally we would look at things and we'd have 1, okay, so this might be 1, and then we might have 10, and then we might have 100. Okay, so we have 100 ones in there, 10 tens make 100. But sometimes we have things that are smaller than 1, And to help you understand how that works, I'm going to ask you to change things a bit. I want you to imagine that this here is 1. This is 1. So if this is 1, what does this mean? And what does this mean? Well, this, instead of being a 10, this is called a tenth. This is called a tenth. And so we would say 0.1 is a tenth. Okay? And we say it's a tenth because 10 of those tenths goes in to make 1. And we also have these then. Well, what is this if this is 1 and this is a tenth? Well, 100 of these would go into here, so we would call that a hundredth. And that would be written like this. So if this is 1, this is a tenth, and this is a hundredth. So let's see now if we can use these to represent some different decimals. So my first one says 0.4. Well, I've got 0 integers, 0 units. So 0 here. Now how many tenths have I got? Well, I've got 4. So I'm going to have 4 tenths. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be 4 tenths. And I've got 0 hundredths. So my way to write this, okay, is that I have 4 tenths. Okay? And it would look like that. What about 2.3? Well, how many units have I got? Well, I've got 2 units. So I'm going to start off with 2 of these. There we go. And then how many tenths have I got? Well, I've got 3 tenths. Have I got any hundredths? No. So here I've got 2 units and 3 tenths. Okay. Now let's look at my third one. My third one says 0.42. Remember, this is an integer, this is 1. I haven't got any ones. 0 units. Now, how many tenths have I got? Well, I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But this time I've got some hundredths. I'm going to have 2 of these. 1, 2. So in this one, I have 4 tenths and 2 hundredths. Okay. Let's have a look at a couple more. This one says 1.23. So, how many units have I got? I've got 1. How many tenths have I got? I've got 2. How many units have I got? I have 3. So this one is 1 unit, 2 tenths, and 3 hundredths. So how is 3.62 going to look? Let's try and picture it before we do it. 3.62. So this is an integer, so this is a unit. I'm going to have 3 green ones there. This is a tenth, so this is going to be red. And how many of them? I've got 6 of those. And this is 100, so this is blue. So I've got 2 of those. Can you see that? So I've got 3 as an integer, 6 of the tenths, and 2 of the units. If you can close your eyes and imagine that, and then when you open them, what you should be seeing is something like this, where we have 6 tenths, 2 hundredths, and the 3 whole ones. So I'm going to write this: 3 units, 2 tenths, and 3 hundredths. So as you can see now, I've done those ones. So with decimals, what it's important that we understand is the relationship between a unit, a tenth, and a hundredth. If we have a unit, 10 tenths go into a unit, and 100 hundredths, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100 of them go into 1 unit. We're going to learn a lot more about using decimals. This is so you start to understand them.